Welcome to this segment of Soul, Silence, and Sound. This is brought to you by BeSimply.
Stars, trees, clouds, and the moon. They all have a meaning and they look just like you.
Welcome to this segment of Soul, Silence, and Sound. I want to thank you all for tuning in. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about authenticity and sincere efforts. And last talk at the new moon, I shared about a remembering and the power of really going through this process gives a deeper understanding of our consciousness outside of the mind control that our ancestors that we've all been under for a relatively unexplainable period of space. And the reason I say that is because we don't really know, because most of it's a manipulation. Now, through this quote unquote awakening, we're going through a remembering and we're starting to reclaim memories that would have been potentially attempted to be erased in this long game of the mind control. And so in today's age, in your and mine epoch, the mind control comes through our media. It comes through advertisement. It comes through listening to other people that have bought into an ideology and they're participating in weaving the spells of what I call the Wetiko, the trickster, the energies that have been putting up the smokes and mirrors, the curtains, if you will. And so as we're going through this process and entering into this golden era, there's this very important aspect which will be needed in mastery is authenticity and sincere efforts. Now, in this moment, it's really easy, especially on our devices, to have our mind go every which way, and all of a sudden being emotionally manipulated based on someone's suffering, based on someone's spin on whatever, current affair or ideology that's being spread, or a trend to buy something, whatever it is. It's really easy to start spinning things and to lose our focus. So the one being each and every one of you has opportunity to decide how they want to meet life, and if they want to meet it authentically and sincerely. And so authenticity is built over space. It's you could think, oh, I'm being authentic right now. But the more you get to know thyself, your eternal being, your soul, you will tap more into what's authentic for you. And that's why oftentimes when people are going through their remembering and their awakening, especially right now, they might feel very isolated, even though there's millions, potentially billions and billions of beings going through the same process. And the reason it feels isolating is because it's unique. You all are unique. And all the groupthink, the ideology, and all facets of society right now are what controls your mind to think that there's some kind of universal way for your unique soul to plug into these different aspects of the system that's around us. And so that's why it can feel isolating. And so the authenticity comes when you start to really adhere for what's true for you, and it doesn't become an imposition on another group of people or another individual. It's like thyself, you're getting to know thyself, and then you can authentically show up as that. And then you also know where you're calibrated to be and when you're calibrated not to be. And in that process, it can be humbling because maybe you have been grasping for validation in one way and then realize like, whoa, this is so not authentic. Like I've grasped onto this thing, this persona, this activity, whatever it might be, just to evade getting to know myself. And so authenticity is something that expands and transforms and deepens as you get to know yourself. And that's why you could have, I'm going to use chefs or cooks in the kitchen and give them all the same ingredients, and they might create same recipes, not the same recipes, but those ingredients will drastically taste very different based on how authentic, how true that individual is to thyself. And this isn't about being selfish, it's about knowing thyself. And once you start to do that, you're able to offer up what you have at the deepest level with sincerity. So that's the other part of it. So that sincere effort helps us become more authentic versus trying, as I even wrote about it, I'll put the Substack, faking it till you make it kind of thing. And this is a very important, nuanced aspect as we pave the way for our future ancestors into this golden era. Because I will tell my students, you can't like learn to fly first and then come back and learn the basics. That the basics are what's needed before you fly. And there's, of course, all of us could regurgitate a lot of information, yet it's through the daily practice, the daily delivery of whatever your gifts are, whatever your occupation, whatever your way of showing up in the world is, that daily effort is what will build authenticity, the sincerity. It's not moving with the next trend. And we see this especially in well-being. So part of being well is nourishing your soul. And that's part of my focus in these talks, is to give you a morsel of information to contemplate as it's being presented to me through my practices, and then welcome you to sit and be in silence with yourself and then receive sound to help balance your electromagnetic field. And so even in this aspect of spiritual practice, whether you're doing it through theology or through Eastern practices that are more scientific based and have a checks and balance via science and spirituality, wherever you choose, that will be where you put that effort to deepen your relationship to your soul and allow that soul to blossom, so oh, wow, this is the true aspect of my eternal being. And so all these identities that people like to put on in mental health, mental well-being, I'll call it, physical well-being, emotional well-being, and spiritual well-being are labels. What are they doing? They're basically labeling someone as in a deficit, in an imbalance would be probably the most healthy way to express it, but really as if this is like, a burden to bear. Of course, anything that is giving someone resistance is something to bring into balance. However, when we get out of the mindset that you are not whole, that you don't have the capacity to be in well-being every single day, this starts to drain on the mental body, the emotional body, the spiritual body, and the physical body. And so by learning who you are through spiritual practice and authentically meeting yourself there, you will have an easier time at retaining holistic well-being day in and day out, because you're being true to who you are. And it's when people panic, whether they're in a process of becoming into physical balance, mental, emotional, or spiritual, they're all interrelated. And no matter where they're putting the effort initially, they can get so attached to a little finite label or box or ideology that limits them. So the freedom is that when you open up on your eternal level, then you're working at the eternal level and you're building, and that has a retention rate outside of this binary system that they've created through these black boxes, through a manipulation that we all have agreed to. Every time you agree to a new app updating, you've agreed to through different facets. But as you get to know yourself, you're like, whoa, I don't have to agree. I can agree to be true to my eternal being. Now, in any present moment, your eternal being may be tested because maybe the infrastructure of the world around you is in direct opposition to what your eternal soul needs to express or wants to express. And within that little moment, there's ability to transform and deepen in a knowing of yourself and a commitment to self. And then it makes it easier for you to express yourself day in and day out because you know where you want to build, where you won't compromise, and where you're headed, not only in this perceptual life, but the eternal life. You know, consider it you're picking up these aspects of yourself and refining them so they can carry over into the next. And if you look around, for example, when we go to trends, like if I take you back to the 80s, my daughter said the other day, I would have loved to do aerobics in the 80s. Anyone can think of like probably some aerobic tapes, all that kind of stuff. So that was a moment. And then all these people were like, ooh, I can make a lot of money off aerobics throughout gyms or through video distribution, all these different things. So that became something people grasped and put on as a label for a very short period of space in perspective with eternity. So will the aerobics potentially help that person? Maybe it gave them reinforced their love for being in motion, their love for being healthy, lots of things which can serve all those, your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual being. So the key is, though, if one goes so far into it and it's more about aesthetic, like, oh, I want to do this because I want to, I don't know, like more from the ego standpoint, they will potentially avoid gleaming and receiving from the deeper subtleties of what was offered in that moment. Similar, you see this in nutritional trends. There's a lot of nutritional trends going on right now. And again, if each person's unique, and so whatever's happening in that physical and emotional body and how you need to be nourished is based on past action. And so by going with a trend, then without maybe someone consulting with you one-on-one, someone really looking after your best interests beyond what the trend is, then you can really actually do some deep excavation on that eternal level, that soul level, because the physical, emotional, and the mental bodies are reflective of past action via Eastern sciences and practices. This is very mysteriously accurate on many levels. So if you're wanting and ready to deepen your authenticity with any and all ways you express yourself on a daily basis, it requires some willingness to show up for yourself, to take the space to really get to know yourself where you are in this moment, really say, wow, what have I been through? And I ready to deepen an understanding of myself, and what has this passage taught me about myself, and what do I not want to compromise on the future. And this is similar if someone gets sick or cold. Like the other day I was in a local shop and a very sweet woman was there, and she had a foot cast on, and we were chatting, and she's like, yeah, you don't appreciate your leg till it's like this. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Absolutely. And that's typically how it is that we don't savor what we have until we maybe have a moment that we're tested in any aspect of our being. So in this moment, if you choose to be authentic, the first place, if you really want to get deep into it, is to meet these spiritual practices. I give you a short context once a week, and it's a beautiful, from my vantage, way to deepen your spiritual practice without maybe compromising any of your theological belief systems, without, putting any kind of dogma or, all these like facets that might make it seem like, I don't know, it's a cult. I tell people a lot of things are a cult. Going to a football game is kind of a cult. So I try to keep it as general as possible so that you can add it if you have additional spiritual practices. You can kind of plug it in with it. But that part of you will help you get more true to your nature and help hold you in integrity. When we hold ourselves in integrity from the inside out, we become a better contributor to society, and it's not based on these external grasping of things that are momentary. Sometimes they're fleeting. People want something, want it now, and that's why the technology really, amps up that need for speed, because it does mirror a heroin addiction. So basically our global society has varying scales of a heroin addiction right now. And if you think about that, that is a reflection, because heroin is quote unquote a love molecule, I'll call it. And that's why it's a dangerous drug for people to become addicted to, because they're feeling that love that, a child feels from their parent, or you might feel with a partner, or you might just feel for humanity at large. And that release that you feel when you're getting those chemicals pumping through your body becomes addicting. So that's why the false sense of validation through these devices has put our human consciousness at a deficit, and why it's so important to get back to authenticity, not performances on there. And unbeknownst to most people that aren't awake or remember, that all facets of society have been curated, and it's not necessarily the strongest ones that are there, or the most integral ones that are there on a large scale. And so as we enter into this new era, that's why it's so important, because we will be removing completely the deception, and those that are authentic and true and sincere are the lead into this next era. And for many people that have been held on a pedestal, a couple segments back, I talk about, dropping the idol, whether it's in sports, whether it's in religion, whether it's in science, whatever facet of society, those will actually be back, at the beginning, so to speak, because there are things that they might have missed. And so for all of you that have been going through remembering and awakening for decades, maybe this whole lifetime, maybe several lifetimes, and you feel alone, to bring it back to that, you're not alone. You've been poised and prepared for this moment to walk steadfast side by side with your fellow humans with a soft gaze and sincere efforts towards birthing this golden age. And how you'll know if you're there is that if you're comfortable being in that content space, if you're comfortable being in a humble space, and you're really not looking for external validation at all, that you're so committed and passionate about your work that is the focus, and it's not about this external. And so irregardless of people listening participate in social media or not, there are different ways that people look for external validation. And that's part of what we're healing right now. So as we go into this meditation, I welcome you to just ask yourself, are you ready to be more authentic with your eternal being? Forget the outside world. Are you willing to get more authentic with your eternal being? And then, are you willing to put forth sincere efforts? I think there was a joke reel I saw recently about quote unquote women in LA in the morning. It's pretty funny spoof. Satirical, like, okay, get up, do your cold plunge, meditation, journal writing, ritual. It was like 20 things that if you did all that every morning, it could become very mechanical. And so what I would say is, like, where can you make a sincere effort and you keep building upon that sincere effort, and then it'll deepen. And as you deepen, you'll be like, oh, I've been really working at learning this skill, and now I'm going to get a little deeper with it. I'm going to really learn another aspect. If you're an artist, oh, I've been working this skill, and now I actually want to learn this technique because it'll help when I'm creating. Or, wow, I've been learning this language and I'm going to spend more time at it. I'm going to add in some additional things to deepen what I've been learning so I can practice it and I can fully, sincerely embody the language that I've been wanting to learn or speak. So that's where you want to ask yourself, are you ready to be authentically and sincerely there, purely from your inner focus to the outside world, meaning that you have something to offer and give, and irregardless of anyone's perception of you, that you're really there to hold it. And this is where you'll be guided to serve, and people will authentically come to you, and sometimes unauthentically come for you because they want to kind of be more of a taker of your energy versus receiving and reciprocating. And so we're all going to learn through this process. It's not all said and done. We all have to make efforts to keep our consciousness transforming, evolving, and continuing to rise up in resonance. So with that being said, I welcome each and every one of you to come up into an upright seated position. And then taking a nice gentle breath in. And exhale out. Again, inhale. And exhale. Another one, inhale. And exhale. And as you continue to breathe in and out, I welcome you just to follow your natural breathing pattern and create a soft gaze down at a focal point in front of you. And continue to breathe in and out. Good.
Listen, it cannot be seen. It is beyond form. seen, it is beyond form. Look, it cannot be heard, it is beyond sound. Wait, it cannot be held back. The sands are falling down. Wait, it cannot be held back. The sands are falling down. Listen, it cannot be seen, it is beyond form. Look, it cannot be heard, it is beyond sound. Wait, it cannot be held back. The sands are falling down. Wait, it cannot it cannot be heard. It is beyond sound. Wait, it cannot be held back. The sands are falling down. Wait, it cannot be held back. The sands are falling down. Listen, it cannot be seen. It is beyond form. Look, it cannot be heard. It is beyond sound. Wait, it cannot be held back. The sands are falling down. Wait, it cannot
Gently from there, I welcome you to gently lean back and recline or move fully into Shavasana, a prone position on your back with your palms facing upward as we transition into receiving sound. As you settle in, just take a nice gentle breath into the heart and out. Again, inhale. And exhale. And one more inhale. And exhale. And then continue to follow your natural breathing pattern. Taking a soft, gentle breath in and out. Gently breathing in and out. Again, inhale. And exhale. Another one, inhale. And exhale. And then gently from there, just welcoming you to be for a moment. And when you're ready, you can rise up into a seated position, just taking a nice gentle breath in and out. And then just gently bringing your awareness back to my speaking voice. And I want you, if you can, stay here for a little bit longer. Maybe if you have a little bit of space before you move into your next, just reflect on, where are you inclined to deepen your understanding what it means to be authentic, whatever you're guided to be doing from the inside out right now. And then from there, I welcome you to see if you can meet that with sincerity, not like it's a task that you have to move beyond, even the act of meditation, not rushing through it, or, if you're wanting to get healthier, that you don't rush through exercising, that you really show up with sincerity. If you're working on building something for a new job or your business, that you meet it with a sincere heart. And that authenticity within you will help you in that process. And the other part is that if you're on the side of receiving someone's gifts, or maybe they're giving you some advice in your business world, or maybe they're just serving you up a beautiful meal, whatever it might be, that you really ask yourself if you can sincerely receive it, not wanting anything from that person, but just opening those hands and receive. One area that, because of the psyop we've been under around the feminine, that she has been put to the side and eliminated in almost all traditions on this planet for a minute for sure. And what that means is each one of you has masculine and feminine energies within you. And the feminine is the receiver. That's the womb space. That's receives so she can create a human. And so right now, learning to receive is so important, and also learning to give, not receive, give, receive, give. It's the act and the concept of generosity as taught in the East, where it's not based on what you're going to get from it. It's a pure act of generosity, a random act of kindness. And when we meet sincerely there giving, and receiving without feeling like someone owes you something, you are putting cosmic deposits into your eternal bank account for the benefit of yourself and others, because it definitely feels good for anyone to spontaneously receive something that was given without strings attached. And when we attach strings, we create a karmic knot, and we have something that we will have to reconcile in our immediate or future. So rather than carry over too many futures, it's better to keep things clean and lean in the present moment. So with all that being said, I want to thank you all for taking the space to be here. And I want to thank Dante Marino, Random Rab, and Kadri Scott. And we're going to exit out with a little Kadri Scott. Please support the arts, support creation. This is one aspect. Everything we do is creation that is going through a major metamorphosis, especially as it relates to art, if you will, however that might be expressed, and science for sure. All right. You have a beautiful day. Thank you all for being here. This is Suzanne signing out with a full heart, a big smile, a gentle bow, and a namaste. Be simply.
The way your eyes feel on me makes me feel alright. And the way your mind dreams for me grabs me and holds me tight. So we dance along the Milky Way and stumbled on the stars and sway till the morning it comes. So I right.